Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I hope you're watching this video from a comfortable place and you're also enjoying your weekend from no matter where you are. So let's get started. My name is Ranjan Pathak and I'm a UX designer. Uh, I, I worked as a UX lead and I have handled a team of 10 and 12 people. Uh, I have learned UX by myself, and I started my journey in 2009. And in 2009, I started with graphic design, and in 2011, I started with UX and UI, and I never looked back. Um, let's say uh, uh, let's see what I'm doing right now. So my I would say last job, I'm right now also consulting, and my last job, my role was associate technical architect for UX. uh, Previous to that, I was UX lead, and my role involved into uh, more of research and team management, and I think it's overall I did a lot of things. So I would start from I would get a project, and then I would research on it, and then I would work on creating a perfect requirement document and also the user flow, and I would find the best resource suited for this project, best designer suited for this project, and I would align with him, I would work with him, I would brainstorm with him to make sure that he's the right candidate for this project. And then we would brainstorm on wireframes, and then we would get started. I would just give him the whole project, and then if he gets stuck, then he can come back to me. There's no such rule that he cannot come back to me. We would do that, and once the initial phase is done, I think most of the time I have seen my team members were really able to handle the whole project. Sometimes I had to get into solve some of the UX complex problem, but we really appreciated each other and we solved all those problems. And we had a lot of completed projects at the end. So let's talk about my skill and achievement. Uh, so I would say not just from now, but from a long time. I believe I have been a designer, and I love to design. I love to create beautiful things. I like to see the whole world as a beautiful, organized design. And why UX? Because user experience is not just about mobile application. It's about our day-to-day life, day-to-day things, and how can we make everything easy to use and comfortable to use, and to make sure that everybody, while they're going through their day-to-day life, they're enjoying everything. They enjoy the structure, they enjoy the application, they enjoy the technology we develop. So I think that's not just a hobby, that's my passion, and I'm really keen into taking this forward, and do more about it, learn more from it, and uh, create some small changes in the world which could really have an impact. So far, I would say I have completed 200 plus projects, and I have served more than 50 to 60 plus clients. And I have had both bad and good experiences, but I most of the time I had good experiences, because when you are into UX, and if you try to do good, client really love you, and they give you the freedom to really change their view, change their perspective. And because at the end they know that you are trying to do something which could really impact their customers, their users, and which could really add value to them. And I think that is what I have done. I have worked on complex projects. I have So in terms of domain, I have worked in logistics, I have worked in manufacturing, I have also done a lot of digital websites. I have worked on a lot of mobile applications. I have worked into uh, boat manufacturing, and more and more I have worked into. I have created softwares for trucking and truck management, vehicle management. Uh, so that's not just it. I have created applications for, let's say, kiosk applications, and that has really helped the customers and their users to use it with ease. And I think I've had a lot of experience in uh, uh, making the users and the client both happy. And not just the UX, I would say, I've had a lot of interaction with clients, and I really had a good relations. I really had and also have a really good relationship with all clients. So client communication is part of what I do. I talk to client, I be comfortable with them, and make sure that everything goes into a nice flow. So in the current organization, I also did leadership course, and that really helped me shape the team. And I started with three designers. I was one, and there were two girls. And in a year or 1.5 year, we became 10 designers, 10 to 12 designers. And while I was working on designs, I joined as a senior UX designer. But while I was working on design, I was also uh, making UX research, and I was also creating user flows, and I was also sometimes writing a business requirement document, and creating new initiatives which could really help the client with more ideas. And I was also part of hiring. I would take like 50 interviews, and I would just hire one guy, because UX is something, you would need to find all the skills have to match with communication skill. And also um, uh, you could you could be able to see the candidate as that, does he have that same kind of pattern that you're looking for. So I did that. I took a lot of interviews to hire these 10 special team members, and I think the company also appreciated that. And all these 10 designers are very specific, and they're very good with what they do. And I had a lot of training with them. Although they came up with a lot of experience, I had a lot of training with them, some of freshers. But I feel like, I'm really happy and appreciative of what they have done and what they have been doing and what they will do in future. I'm really grateful for their support, and I hope they're also grateful for my support I have for them. So that's what I did with this current company. Uh, that's what my, I would say, main achievement, that I created the whole team. And not just a like a generic team, a very special team who could take any task and who just reach it towards completion. So let's talk about my design philosophy. Uh, how I reach a project, or when I get a project, or I would reach out a client, and then create a project. So the first thing, let's talk from the start. I would reach out a client, and first I would research about the company, and I would try to see how we can solve a problem, and how we can add a value through automation, and what we can build that can add value and generate more revenue for the company. And not just the usability, but also what technology can do for the client to add value and generate more revenue, and automate things which can then, all the operations can be faster, on the management can be faster. And when all these things are faster and automated, then really it adds value, and it generates more revenue. So I do that, and once we both agree on the same plan, I I usually you get a document, but if you are creating an MVP, minimal viable product, then you don't get a document. You have to create the document. You have to create the research. So once the research is ready, what we do is I would uh, I would create initial wireframes and user flows to understand, where this project could go, how the UX would look like. Obviously, with estimation of how much time it is going to take, so client could be at ease that we could be very transparent with client, and he would be able to understand that this is how much time it is going to take for them, and this is when it can really go live. And I also work with development team to understand what is the possibility and what is not possible in this specific uh, automation innovation we are going to do. On that base only, we try to bring everything together, and then we reach out to client, and we have that brainstorming session that this is what we can do. And then we go from there. Then I work with my team member. I would design, I would sketch some wireframes on, maybe on paper, maybe on FigJam or any wireframing tool, very dirty sketch you could say. And then we would take it to client, just the sketch. And some people would say that client don't want to see the wireframe, the sketch, but I'm telling you, client love that idea. Client really love that creative process. They love sketches and wireframe. They don't like low fidelity, I would say, a lot, but they want to see the best initial process you could have. And that is when, because creating those sketches is easier. You could think, and then you could create sketches, and you could finalize, and then you can work with your team and also the client and brainstorm on some ideas. And then we finish that brainstorming, and then we come up with the finalization of what exactly we are going to do. And from there we start to create the actual design with the estimation. And then we create system design. And I would say system design is not it will not get completed like today or tomorrow. It is going to be the part of what you call the whole project from the start to end. But some of the things can be considered, like typography would take care of, the color palettes we would take care of, iconizations we could take care of. But the components factor and some more things, objects from all these aspects like typography, color, and icons can be added later. But the components would be like it would go like an expandable view. You'd keep creating new components in a synergy, and then you'd keep adding a consistent element which could really help you create better mockups. So we create those mockups. Once the mockups are ready, we have these meetings with client on a regular basis. We show them the progress. We make those changes client would want. And then I would take that to the finish line after client has approved all the design. And then also it does not end there. We would talk to the development team on a regular basis. We would see the progress, and then we will start the UX testing. And in the UX testing, what I would do, and I would recommend my team to do, is to go through each and every design and development which has been in the development, and see what actually has been developed. Is there an alignment issue? Is there a UX issue? Sometimes what would happen is that developer would come to you with a nice idea. That happens a lot. And if the idea is really good and it is going to help the user, we don't get greedy, or we don't get stuck to our own idea. We don't marry our own idea a lot. We try to solve a problem. So we would take that idea, and then we would redesign some things, and then we would add those as well to the project. Because happiness of the client and also happiness of the user, and the age is the most important thing for us. So we would take this help from anyone who could, who could lend a hand to us. So we would do that. Then I would say, uh, then uh, then after that, another phase starts wherein, we would research more and we would come up with new more ideas which could be added to client's value. And so the basic idea for me, I would think, once the client comes in, how can you help that client to keep adding more values to the organization and increase more revenue? So we would keep adding new ideas which could add value to them, and we would that would keep increasing their revenue and team size and everyone. So that way you start, but I would say there's no end. Then it expands. So that's what I believe in. And now let's talk about why am I here? Why I like design a lot, and what is my motivation? So I would say from my childhood, I have been very passionate about creating things, creation, and I would go very deep. I would go deep dive into tiny details of everything which is made and which is out there. I think at that time I did not have exposure to that much of technology, but from the time I have never stopped. Like, even if I use Illustrator or Photoshop or used to use InDesign, I would go very deep dive. I would go very deep into those, and I would find out tools which could make my life easier as a user. And that gave me a lot of passion, that what you could do with the technology, what you could do with the user experience. And I think that would always be there. UX has evolved, and you could do a lot more into technology, and I'm very passionate and motivated about it. So that is what is my motivation, to make everything beautiful, change one thing at a time, and keep moving forward with that. uh, so right now I'm thinking of, if I could join a team, if I could join a company and shape their complete UX process, system design, and also client communication. I helped a lot of team members with client communication, and create a flow for leading a project very successfully from start to end, and how you can keep adding value to the client and to the organization. And I even if I could join as a UX lead, or let's say UX manager or director of UX, it doesn't really matter for me. What matters is if I can add value to your organization and your client's organization, and I could help them generate more revenue and create beautiful user experience for their applications and create more innovations going ahead. Okay, that is what my goal is. uh, so I would complete this interview here. This is my video CV, you could say. And so this idea came to me because when I used to take interviews, I was like, if they already have a video explaining about themselves, this could really help me understand the candidate better. So I thought, why not just start with yourself? So I thought of creating this video, and I would post it on LinkedIn and see what kind of response I get from uh, from companies and clients all over the world. So I would repeat that again. I have 15 years of experience in UX design, and you could find all the other details in my CV, and the project details in my CV, and the company's detail in the CV. Uh, I love UX design, and I love innovation, and I think as a UX designer, you could really solve bigger life problems, and you could really add value in the world. So I'm hoping I could work with any of you and see the world change beautifully. Thank you.